Now we're going live. All right. Good afternoon. We're opening up the Freetown Board of Library Trustee meeting for Monday, February 8th. It's 1 p.m. And this is a Zoom meeting, so I have to read a specific quote. Pursuant to to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18, and the Governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Freetown Board of Library Trustees will be conducted by remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information and the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public can be found at the Town of Freetown's website, freetownmass.gov. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted today. We will post on the town's YouTube channel an audio or video recording or both, transcript or other comprehensive record of the proceedings as soon as possible after this meeting. Okay, with that said, I'm going to call the meeting to order, and the secretary can take the roll.
Okay, I'm going to do a roll call. I'll start off, and then each of you could identify yourself. Beverly Sadik.
Irene
Bill
Atkin,
Rosa.
Christine Pyther,
Paul Sadik. And we have our library director, Nicole. And Irene, you already identified yourself, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so we do have a quorum.
Okay, we have a quorum. All right. On the agenda, old business. We don't have any old business for this particular meeting. This meeting primarily is the final interviews for the position of library trustee position. The job was posted a number of weeks ago, and a preliminary screening committee interviewed 12 people, and we narrowed the 12 people down to 4 candidates.
That one off.
So what we're going to do is we're going to call in the first candidate, who is Anna Macumber. If the trustees are ready, I'll allow her to come into the meeting. You guys all set?
All set.
Yes.
Hi, Anna.
Anna.
How are you guys?
Good.
Good, good.
All right, Anna. So listen, not all the trustees were able. They weren't on the preliminary screening committee. So here's how we're going to work it. I'm going to ask you to tell us about yourself, your background, and why you want the position of library technician.
Okay.
And then we're going to go around, and each trustee will ask you a question, and that's the interview. And I just want you to know that every candidate, we're interviewing 4 finalists. Everyone is going to be asked the same question by each of the trustees.
Okay,
So with that, you ready to go?
I'm ready.
Okay. Tell the Board of Library Trustees about yourself, your background, your experience in working in a library, and also why you want the position.
All right.
It's all yours. And by the way, this is being recorded. It's going to go on the YouTube video because we have to under the open meeting law.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
All right. So, well, hello everybody. I'm Anna. I was born and raised in Freetown. I went to the Freetown Public Schools. From there, I went to Bristol Aggie, and then I went to Stonehill College. I just graduated this past semester with my not with my master's yet, but with my BA in history. And for that, I didn't work in the library, but I spent a lot of my time in the library doing research. I did my final thesis on John M. Dean from town, and I worked with the Freetown Historical Society with that. And like I said, I have no official library experience, but I do um, have some experience working in reference libraries and my college library. I think that's it.
Okay, that's it, right?
I think so.
All right.
All right, so
My
over
question
to-
is next. What about your previous experience makes you a good candidate for this job?
My previous experience, I would say I'd be a good candidate for this job because I've worked with the public a lot. So right now I'm a cashier at Walmart, so I deal with all walks of life really. And between that and my time at Stonehill working really in academia, I feel like it's a good combination, and this job would be a good first step in my career goals.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Hi, Anna. I'm Irene. I have the next question for you. Could you name one strength you have that you feel would help you in this job?
Yeah, so one strength that I think I have is good communication skills. I think I find myself pretty personable, and at my job currently, a lot of people tell me I'm that. And I really love to hear from everybody all their different stories and how their past got them to where they are and what they have to bring to the future. And I think that would be great to help me connect to the public really of Freetown.
Thank you.
No problem.
Hi, Anna, I'm Beverly.
Hi, how are you?
Okay, my question is, in your opinion, what are the most important qualities of a library technician?
I would say that's a good question. First off, I would say to be really organized would be very helpful, as well as being able to be open and flexible with working with the public and with your sources, and having that ability to just comprehend everything and be a good assistant to the person you're working behind.
Thank you.
Christine?
Okay, is this position for you something that you think is going to be, and I know you're young and it's hard to look forward to it, but do you think that this is going to be something that's going to maybe not this position, but something that you would make your forever career?
Yeah, most definitely. I'm really looking at this position as a launching point for myself, like professionally. I recently just applied for my master's in library and information science at Simmons University in Boston. So this would be a great launching point for me coming out of college and going into my master's, just to serve as some great experience really towards that, and then hoping that will evolve into a larger profession.
Thank you.
No problem.
Have you been accepted at Simmons?
I just applied at the end of January. The deadline was the 1st. So I have to wait 3 or 4 weeks and I will know.
Okay.
And Nicole, do you have anything?
I guess I would say, if you could make one improvement to your character that would help you be better at your job, what would it be?
Probably to be more bold. I would say that I'm usually more reserved in nature. So that would be like my one thing I would want to work on. But I think that would really be helpful, really, in any job setting.
Okay. All right, so Hannah, do you have any questions for us?
I think I'm all set. I don't think I have any real questions. My only one curiosity would be, what are you guys looking for in a library assistant, and what kind of role would you like me to fulfill if I get this position?
Well, I think that's a fairly decent question. We'll let the library director answer.
I think the biggest thing we're looking for is flexibility. We're a very small staff of 3, so more than likely you'll be doing a little bit of everything.
Mhm.
So, you know, someone that's a self-starter, someone that will be willing to take on any sort of project, even if it's, you know, something they've never done before. You know, a team player for sure, because like I said, there's 3 of us, so we're, you know, have to do a little bit of everything sometimes.
Yeah. Totally understand that.
There is another thing too, though.
Yeah.
Occasionally someone gets sick or car won't work or whatever. And so we need somebody who would be able to come in and fill in for somebody else's hours if that is required.
Okay, that's definitely a possibility I can do.
Okay.
I have just one other thing. Since you're going to be going to college,
Mhm.
how are you going to mix basically almost a full-time job with college? I mean, are you going to be commuting back and forth, or how does that work?
So thankfully, the program at Simmons University, it's mostly online. So it's very flexible. So they basically give you a schedule where I can complete the coursework on my own time. So if I have to work, say 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., I can go home later and do it at my own on my own pace. So that way it won't interfere directly with any kind of work schedule I have. So it's very flexible in that nature. So I'm very thankful for that.
Okay, very good. Is any other questions? Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming in.
No problem. Am I all set?
You're all
Have a
set.
good one.
Thank you guys. Have a great day now.
All right.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye. Okay. So this gives us, what time's our next one, Nicole? Where's Nicole? What time's the next one? What time's the next?
1:40, but if she comes early, we can always start earlier. I
Okay,
told
but
them
we
to
should-
come 10 minutes early.
Okay, so we should take some time here, each one of us, and rate, use the rating sheet and come up with the average. And that way it'll be ready, and we will hold it to ourselves until we summarize everything after the last person is interviewed. Is that okay?
Add the numbers
5
and
is the
then,
highest and 1 is the lowest.
divide it.
Yeah. Let's see.
Six. The most points they can get is 30.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. No, 25. No, 6 questions? 1,
Yeah.
2, 3. Yeah, that's 30. Ugh,
Math's not my strong suit.
if I get the right figures, I'm good at math.
You know, if somebody wants to make a motion for recess while we're waiting for the next person, we can take a vote, and then we can recess. That way there won't be such a long intermission between on the tape. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
We want to make a motion?
make a motion that we take a recess.
Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, motion made in second, take a recess. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I'm gonna pause the tape till the next person gets in. Okay, we are, we see that the next finalist is in the waiting room. So we're going to resume the
Resume the Zoom.
we're going to resume the Zoom meeting for the library trustees. So I'm going to invite Melinda Lemon into for her
Lena.
interview.
Melina.
Melina. Okay. I'm looking right at it and I don't read it right. Okay, I'm going to admit the person. You guys ready?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Hello.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there you
Hi,
are.
hi.
How you
Hello.
doing?
Good, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
We can hear you. Can you
Okay.
hear us? All
All
right, so
right.
we'll go around the loop here so you'll know who everybody is because you probably didn't meet everybody in the past. My name is Paul.
All
Simon.
right.
I'm a trustee.
I'm Beverly Sadik, I'm a trustee.
Hello.
I'm Lucille Rosa. I'm a trustee.
Am I
Nicole.
I'm a trustee.
Hi.
I'm Christine Piva. I'm a trustee.
Hello.
All right. You know, so everybody identified themselves. Okay.
Okay.
So here we go. How we're gonna work this is I'm gonna start off. I'll tell you exactly what I'm gonna ask you. I want to know about your experience,
Sure.
your work experience, and I also want to know about why you want the library technician's job. And then once you finish that, we're gonna go around and each trustee will have a question for you. So you'll know every trustee that asks, we ask a question, it's the same question for every one of the applicants, okay?
Okay.
So we try to do it as fair as possible. So,
Did she want to tell us a little bit about herself, right?
well, that's what she's going to, that's
Yeah,
what I
okay.
asked.
All right.
She's going to tell us about herself and why her experience in the workforce that makes her eligible for the library technician job, and also why she wants the library technician job. It's all yours.
All right. Thanks.
Okay.
So my library experience is I've worked for about 5 years inside an academic library setting. I went in when I was starting my bachelor's degree. I earned a bachelor's degree in history with a minor in biology. But I got first a work study job working part-time inside of my academic library for 3 years. After that, I was then promoted to work there full-time. It was on a front-end customer service specialist, they called it. Essentially, it was the front end of the library, helping patrons check books in and out, reserving study rooms, organizing the collections, auditing collections, book mending, essentially anything that you could think of that is the typical front end sector of a library. After that, I was then, I'd say, promoted again to work in the back end, working as a cataloging assistant and specialist. So there I was helping to catalog the books, all of the collections, working a lot with the electronic databases. So I worked quite a bit with any of the acquisitions of new materials, working with them, more mending, maintenance of the collections. But also during that time, I got to work on, we were moving our integrated library system. So the system where we were checking those books in and out of patrons, the catalog system that we used, we were changing it from a system called Voyager, which is what we had mainly used, to a newer updated system called Alma. And so I was actually put onto the team in order to try to break Alma to get it to work with us in our new system, to create the new workflows, to do some of the programming with that. And so I just did a lot of back-end work with the catalogs, electronics, but also helping I'd actually ended up helping out patrons too, because it helped them be able to search for the materials. So that's a lot of my experience working inside of the libraries. And I'm happy to elaborate on any of that experience, any specific questions that you have. I want this tech position because I'm actually working to become a librarian in the future. We're currently enrolled in Simmons Online to have a Master of a Library Science degree. And so I would really like a position right now where I can continue working in my field, essentially, to build up more experience, to network, to get more experience in a more public sector rather than an academic section. And it's also a really great way to connect with my local community. I'm not sure if you had seen this, but I don't live too far away. And so I just think it's a really nice opportunity to connect with my local community.
Okay. All right, so I think
I'm
it goes to
next.
Beverly. Oh, no, it goes, Pat, I gotta get this correct. It goes to Lucille, sorry.
Okay, so my question is, what about your previous experience makes you a good candidate for this particular job?
Sure. So as I said before, I have worked for several years in the front end of a library position. I am more than capable, I believe, of being able to go through, help organize collections, interact with patrons. I mean, it was 4 years was working directly with patrons of, even though it was a college library, an academic library, it was patrons of all ages, races, genders, everything. I interacted with everybody, everything from parents coming in with their children. So they'd come in for school themselves, but they'd bring in their little kids and they'd be trying to look through the collections, helping them out with our children's library, to some of the more elderly some of the more elderly patrons. And, you know, they would need help with technology. It's, or just helping the front end of the library in general. I think I'm a good candidate because I have that experience and I can bring that experience to you, but also I have a lot to gain from this position as well.
Thank you.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes.
it cut out there for a second. Oh, goodness.
Thank you. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can now. Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry.
good.
All right.
Me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Irene. Sorry about that phone call.
That's okay.
What strength or name of strength that you have that you feel would be helpful in your job?
A strength is, I'm not sure if it's a strength exactly, but I am very open. I'm an active listener and I really am well able to listen to people's questions and needs, and I'm clearly able to help them see what they want. So I'm very good in teaching, if that makes any sense. So if you come to me and you ask for something specific, a specific question you're looking for, a specific reference, a specific book, you're looking for something that you want to read or do, I am very easily able to take in that question, translate it, and bring the patron exactly what they need. I'm very good at that. I'm also a bit of a go-getter. I don't tend to like to sit down in too much downtime. I also like to make a lot of little projects for the library. So little display cases or group events. I like being very a part of what's going on.
Very good, thank you.
Hey, in your opinion, what are the most important qualities that you see in a library technician?
Library technician, I do think the openness is a very important quality, being approachable, having people being comfortable to come up and approach you to, you know, to help them find their reference, to check things in and out. But also detail oriented is a huge one. It would not be great at all if I were to, you know, take a book with a different call number or Dewey Decimal number and put it on the wrong shelf somewhere. That book is then basically gone. So attention to detail is a huge thing, but also just friendliness, openness. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chris?
No, I'm all set because the question I had doesn't really apply. So
Okay.
Okay.
Nicole?
If you can make one improvement to your character to make you better at your job, what would you choose?
One improvement. Let me see. I'm always looking to improve. Let's see. I'd like to be more technically minded in one sense. I do tend to be very open and will sit there and chat with people. But sometimes you do need to sit there and focus and get the task done. Although I am capable of that, I do know that sometimes I do need to focus a little bit more on that. Let me see. I mean, I'm sure there's so many things. We all have our faults, you know? Yeah, probably that. I am not too confrontational. I will say that if somebody's coming in for a fight, I don't tend to try to initiate. I tend to back off a bit more. That is something where it may be needed in the situation. I know in a public library, anything can happen. So I'm not as confrontational as I might need to be in certain situations, but I'm hoping that's not something that you have to deal with too often.
Okay. All right. So, do you have any questions for us?
I don't believe so, no. It's a wonderful little library you all have. Okay, so you have another location on the other side of town as well. Do you know when that will be opening up?
You'll
We
get
don't really have
for
a
the time.
timeline until the COVID kind of restrictions
Yeah.
lift. So
Okay.
I would say at least several months.
Mhm.
It's open for
Okay.
curbside pickup. You know, people can pick up outside, but
Mhm.
browsing won't be allowed there for a while.
That building
Okay.
is limited anyway because it doesn't have a restroom in it.
Goodness.
That's a serious deficiency.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oops, I gotta call you back. I'm in a meeting.
All right. No, I don't think I have too many questions.
Okay, very good.
All right.
So, we thank you for coming in for the interview. And we're interviewing 4 people. You're the second individual today. We got 2 more to
All
go.
right.
And then the library trustees will sit down and discuss, and we will make a
I
decision.
do have another question.
Oh, yes.
What specific library systems or programs have you worked with?
All right, so mainly, okay. I have worked with, we used OCLC for a lot of our interlibrary loan systems. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but we use that. I've used content.
I am a former librarian.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
And I've worked on the academic level my
Okay.
whole career. So
Yeah.
don't be afraid of using
All
terms.
right.
I understand them.
Perfect. Sorry, I don't know everyone's experience, but yeah, so I worked with OCLC. We use Content DM with more of the library of things that we had, but we also mainly used Content DM. We used the Alma systems, which was a brand new system. It's only been out since like 2016.
How do you spell OMA?
Alma, ALM.
Oh, AL. Okay.
Yeah, so that's a brand new system. And before that, we were using the Voyager system. So it was another OCLC Voyager system. Let me think. I think those are really the main ones I used. There was a
Okay.
couple more that I would use for, we had this, oh goodness, we called it was an ARS system. So it was basically, it was a big robot that housed about 250,000 of our books. And that it used a, I can't remember what it's called anymore because it just had the robot system's name on it, but we would use that to do auditing. So we'd come through it, they had the books all in these boxes, and you would select which box you wanted to pull out, and you would then audit all of the books inside of it. It was a crazy system, and that one was a lot of fun to use.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else with any questions? All right. Thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.
You'll be hearing, I mean, we will notify all the finalists.
All right.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Welcome. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Bye, Melina.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, we still live here?
Yes.
You want, somebody want to make a motion so we can work on this stuff, I mean, individually? 'Cause we
Make a
have-
motion that we go into a recess.
Second,
Second,
Okay, motion made and seconded to go into the recess. All in favor?
aye.
Aye. Roll call, please.
Hey, Chris, are you in favor of the motion?
Yes,
Irene,
yes.
Lucille,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes,
and I am in favor of the motion.
okay, and we'll just come back when the next candidate gets in here. You guys
What
can
time
all
will
do-
that be? Do you know?
She's probably there like 2:10.
2:10?
2:10?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told everyone to come 10 minutes early, so.
Okay.
Okay, very good. All right.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. Okay, we just turned, we're gonna come back into regular session because our next finalist, Diane Scott, has just got into the waiting room. So if everybody's good, I will admit her to the meeting.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Hello? Diane, we can't hear you. You've got your mic muted. And you need to turn on your video.
There we go.
How you
Hi,
doing?
Diane.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can hear you now, yes.
Okay, hello.
All
Hi.
right, this is Diane Scott. She's one of our finalists. Diane, just so you'll know, this is being videoed. It's going to go on YouTube later. This is a public meeting. And
Okay.
we're interviewing 4 finalists. And you are the 3rd one to be interviewed today. We have one more after you. So what we're going to do is we'll start off. I'm going to ask you because everybody hasn't met you before. I know I met you in one of the interviews. We're going to ask you to fill everybody in of your background and your experience and your work experience in libraries, and also why you want the library technician position. And then we're going to go around and each of the library trustees plus the library director will ask you a question. The questions that are being asked are the same questions for each applicant. So it's fair all the way around. With
Okay.
that said, you heard my question already. And tell us about yourself and why you want the your experience and why you would like to have the library technician. It's all yours.
Well, I have worked in public libraries for almost 13 years. I love working in libraries. I was always a library kid, you know, going to the library after school. I had a couple of other careers before discovering the library. I got that job when my youngest, who is now in college, was entering kindergarten. And I began in the children's room. So I learned the children's collection and I did a story hour. And then when another job opened up in the adult department, I took that because the hours were more working mother friendly. And ever since I have worked as, but the term in New Jersey is library assistant. That's the professional title. I've done everything from repairing books, shelving books, circulation services to patrons, checking in, checking out, pulling holds, doing interlibrary loan, answering questions, general questions, referring patrons when necessary to other personnel or other sources, helping patrons with electronic devices, helping patrons with the copy machine, the fax machine, helping patrons print something from their phones, cataloging, and processing books. Pretty much everything that a library technician does, I have done for 13 years. and I love what I do. I missed it. I'm hoping against hope to go back to library work as soon as I possibly can.
Okay. All right, I think it goes to Lucille first.
Hi, my name is Lucille Rosa. I'm a library technician.
Trustee,
Who?
trustee. You said you're a technician.
Trustee.
She actually is a
sorry.
librarian.
I worked
Many
in
years of experience.
libraries with my career. Although I was
Oh.
never a library technician, I was head of technical services. So I misplaced the wrong word. Okay, then. I actually own a house that runs off of Pine Street, which in Fall River. Which house, which end of Pine Street do you live on?
I'm the absolute far, I'm going to say northern,
Towards the river or away from it?
away from the river. I'm actually
Oh, okay.
across from the elementary school, Fonseca School,
Okay.
right
My
corner
house,
of Pine and Quarry Street.
the property that I own is like half in the middle between North Main Street and Durfee. There's a
Okay.
little street called May Street.
Mhm.
And I can say that I own 50% of the houses on May Street. There were only 2 houses.
I had a feeling that was the case. Well, that's
Okay, so back to the interview. My question has to do with your previous experience.
sure.
What about your previous experience makes you a good candidate for this job?
I think the fact that I have done just about everything that a library worker could possibly do, and that ranges from the sublime to the ridiculous, as it were. When the paper towels in the bathroom needed replacing and nobody knew how to do it, and nobody could find the custodian, I did that. When the walkway was covered with snow, I shoveled it out and shoveled out the book drop. I like the fact that there's always something to do. I'm very unhappy when I'm idle. I like to have something to do. If there's something that needs doing, I'll find it and I'll do it. And I like the variety. I like that there's so many different aspects to working in a library, from the patrons to the books to the technology.
Speaking of the technology, can you tell us some of the library systems or programs that you have worked with?
I have worked with, I am familiar with two ILS systems. Polaris is the one I worked with most recently from 2012 to 2020. Before Polaris, my library system was using Circe Workflows, which I understand is the ILS that the sales network uses and that the Freetown public libraries use. As far as other, I'm trying to think. I'm also familiar with Sky River, which is a resource for cataloging, a cataloging resource. I don't think what else is out there. That's pretty much everything that comes to my mind, unless there was something that you had in mind.
Have you used OCLC?
OCLC?
Yes.
Well, no.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, Diane.
Hello.
I'm Irene.
Hello.
My question is, name a strength that you have that you feel will help you with your job.
I have a very varied background. I majored in music and in classics. I know a lot about classical music, and I can read. I've read all the classics, and well, not all of them, certainly, there's too many, but I've read most of the real classics in the original Latin and Greek. I have 3 children, so I am familiar with children's books. My kids grew up with books and grew up reading as faster than I was ready for them to read, quite frankly. I also have a background in law. I did go to law school, didn't practice law really, but I do know that. So I have a lot of different areas in which I have some education. I also enjoy a lot of other things. I love baseball. I'm a big baseball fan. I love handicrafts, knitting, and of course I love reading. I'm reading constantly. Right now I'm reading The Lions of Fifth Avenue by Fiona Davis, which is, I just started, it's great. But I also like to read different things, biographies in particular. I recently finished Hell's Princess, which is kind of a scary book about a butcher, a woman who murdered multiple men. I know that sounds gross, but it was a fascinating book. And I was prompted to try it because, Fall River is all about Lizzie Borden, and I didn't grow up in Fall River. My fiance did. But now that I live here, I'm trying to kind of get into the spirit of Fall River and learn everything about it so that I know more about the people here and the way and the background. I also, I'm involved with St. Anne's Church, and I've been interested in learning the history of the mills here in Fall River and the immigrants who came in from French Canada and helped build that church, basically out of nothing. So I guess that's my biggest strength, is that I kind of know a little bit about a lot of things. And I know enough to say, well, I don't know anything about that, but I'm sure as heck going to help you find out.
Thank you.
Hi, Diane. My name is Beverly. And in your opinion, what are the most important qualities in a library technician?
Attention to detail would be my number one. Also, if you are going to be working circulation, I think customer service is the biggest thing. You want people to have a wonderful library experience. You want them to want to come back to the library. You need to make them feel welcome. So attention to detail, customer service, reliability, dependability, being there when you're needed to be there, and flexibility, being willing to do whatever's needed at any particular time, be that something unusual or something routine. If it means unjamming the copy machine, then you unjam the copy machine. You don't go say, oh, well, I got to go get so-and-so to do that.
Thank you.
I'm all set.
I'm Nicole. No, we met last time.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
If you could make one improvement to your character to make you better at your job, what would it be?
Oh, I think only one. I have to pick only one. I think after 30 years of living in New Jersey, I need to learn to be a little more patient. Patience is something that I had very little of in New Jersey, and it was because the pace of life there, it's metropolitan New York City. Everybody drives like an idiot, and to this, I'm still astonished at how I can be signaling a left turn here, and the oncoming traffic will flash its lights at me or wait. I say, wow, no
Yes.
one would ever do that in New Jersey. That just doesn't happen. Slowing down and taking time and being patient with myself and being patient with others. Sometimes if you've got the same patron who calls up every single day and wants to know how to download an ebook onto his or her Kindle, you got to walk them through that and take a deep breath, be patient. I think I sometimes fall short that way, but I'm working on it.
Okay. Anybody else with anything else? Any other questions?
Yeah, I remembered to Sometimes there are occasions where one of the other library staff members is sick and can't come in.
Mhm.
And then somebody else has to fill in for them. Would you have any trouble doing that if you were required? or called
Absolutely
upon?
not. Absolutely not. I'm one of those people, knock on wood, but I don't get sick. I think I just don't. I did in 2000, I think it was in 2010, I did get the flu that year and I was out 3 days. And that's the last time I took a sick day because I was sick. I'm a healthy person. I'm up early every day and I'm happy to fill in and help wherever that's needed. If that means coming in to replace somebody who can't come in, that's fine. If that means throwing salt on the walkway, because you see, that's fine. You know, that's the whole, it's not my job is not in my vocabulary. I love to be helpful. I love to do whatever's needed to help out.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Diane, do you have anything you want to ask the trustees?
I'd like to thank you all for inviting me back for a second interview. I would love to be a part of this library system. I think you have a unique setup here with 2 different buildings. And I think you're very lucky to have someone like Nicole, who's young and new, and she probably has all kinds of interesting ideas for how to make the Freetown libraries into something bigger and better. And I would love to be a part of that. So thank you for your time and thank you very much for calling me back for an interview.
Thank you. And you're right about Nicole. She's very good. She's very good.
I'm blushing, you
any-
just can't tell.
Anything else? Anybody else with any questions?
No.
So here's our plan. We're going to, after we interview the last person, we will sit down and talk about who we think will fit the job, and we'll make a selection probably today. And we'll pass that selection on to the personnel board, who I think meets tonight. The personnel board is really the board of selectmen. They act as the personnel board. So hopefully they'll take action tonight. Anyway, with that said, thank you very, very much for coming in, and you'll hear from us either way.
Okay,
You'll hear from Nicole either way.
I will hear from Nicole. Okay, I look forward to that. Thank you, everybody. It's nice to meet those of you who I didn't meet before. Nice to see Christine and Paul again.
Thank you. Have a good
Thank
day.
you.
Yeah,
All right.
You too. Bye-bye.
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 Okay. Nicole, what time's the next person scheduled? What time?
Not till 3.
3. Okay, so we got 25 minutes. Let's have
Good.
another motion to take a recess.
Motion to make a recess so that we can,
Okay, motion made and seconded to go into recess until the next candidate, the next finalist, which will be the 4th finalist, comes in around 3 o'clock. So with that said, all in favor?
aye.
Irene, are you in agreement with the motion? Irene, are you in agreement?
Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Beverly.
Chris, are you in agreement?
I am.
Lucille,
Yes,
Paul,
No, yes.
and I'm in agreement.
Okay, so we'll see, we'll resume this back around 3 or whenever the next individual comes in. Okay, our next finalist, who is the last one of the day, is in the waiting room. So I am going to resume the meeting and admit her. That is okay. So here we go. Alyssa, you there?
Yeah, I am. I'm just trying to find the video here. There you go.
There you
Okay.
go. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good, good, very good.
Hey,
My,
Alyssa.
Hi.
my name is Paul Sadik, and you're meeting with all the library trustees. That individual that you saw walk behind, that trustee up there, I guess he's the cleaner.
Okay.
He just walked by. So Alyssa, what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you. I haven't met you before. I wasn't in on your first interview.
Mhm.
Your background, your work experience, and then why you want to become a library technician. And then we're going to go around and we're going to have each trustee will ask you a question. Uh, we've interviewed. You're the fourth person. We had 4 finalists, so you're the fourth one, and everybody gets the same question. Okay, so everything is fair, and just so you'll know, and I think I mentioned it to everybody else, this is being videoed because this is a public meeting. Okay,
Okay.
so with that, it's all yours. Take it away.
Okay. So my experience, I started off doing the teen program for 2 different branches in the New Bedford library system. And I did that for about a year or so and got promoted to be a full-time library assistant at one branch. And I still continued doing the teen program at that point in time, and also took on a few other programs as well. I've done story time, I've done a few adult programs, like adult craft night and things like that. At our branch, it was a smaller branch. We had a staff of 4. The manager, myself, and 2 part-time employees. So what I liked about that was I got to experience a lot of different things. So I did CERC, reference, Comcat. I had a hand in the collection maintenance and development. I did some weeding. I did the programming, opening and closing of the library. I'm trying to think, some book processing, so some tech services in there as well, and implemented a few programs on my own also. So yeah, I've done a little bit of everything. And then, so after that, I left New Bedford because I moved to Pawtucket, and New Bedford had a residency requirement. So unfortunately, I had to leave at that point in time. But due to life circumstances, I moved back to New Bedford. So yeah, and that's where I am now.
I want to ask you, how many years of library experience do you have?
Overall, about 6 or so years. Yeah, at least 6 or 7. I'd have to look back on when I first got hired, but yeah. Mhm.
Okay, so with that, I'm gonna turn it over to.
Then just why she wants to work here.
Oh, what? That's right. Why do you want to?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So what I really was interested in, first and foremost, was that you're looking for someone to do programming. And that is one of my all-time favorite things to do. Programming and community outreach were 2 things that I really love about working in libraries in general, and specific things that I feel like my skill set is really where I thrive in doing things like that. So yeah, when I saw that, it really spoke to me. I was interested in that first and foremost. And then I also really am eager and excited about the idea that we talked about during my first interview about having a central library and doing more community outreach and summer programming and implementing all kinds of different programs. I really like being invested where I work. So I'm excited that there are things to come.
When you said programming, what do you mean by that?
Programming, so like for all different ages. I've done, like I said, story time, teen program, adult craft night. We did a computer program. So anything like that, I really enjoy. And I also enjoy, like, I don't know if there's a meeting room in that library. No, okay. That was something that I learned.
Unfortunately not.
Not right now.
Because that was a good way to do some like community outreach, was when they would rent out, or rent, but when they would utilize our meeting room, and we'd have like different community people coming through, like Girl Scouts, and we talked to them about like books and story time and summer reading. But I'm sure there's plenty of other ways too. I also forgot to mention that when I worked for Howland Green, I was in charge of the Facebook as well. So I'm used to doing like social media for libraries also.
Okay, so I'm gonna turn it over to Lucille.
Hi, how you doing, Alyssa?
Hi.
Wait a minute.
You're right, Alyssa.
It is. Sorry. My name is Lucille Rosa. I am one of the library trustees, and my career was spent in libraries, so I understand a lot of what you're saying. My question for you is, what about your experience makes you a good candidate for this particular job?
I would say, so when I was working at Howland Green, we had a few instances where there was about 4 or so months with no manager on staff. So it would be just myself and the 2 part-timers. But what I enjoyed about that, while it did have its difficulties being short-staffed, I enjoyed that I got to have a lot of experience in a lot of things, which, you know, so I've done a little bit of everything. There are some things that, you know, I've done more of than others, like circ and reference and things like that, but I did all the book processing. So any like little things like that that need to be done, I feel like I'm very comfortable hopping in and helping out with. But overall, when I first was initially hired, it was to do the teen program. And my background prior to that, I worked as a Girl Scout troop leader. I worked at a summer camp. I've done after school programs and stuff like that. So that's also a strength of mine, like working with kids and doing like teen or young adult or children's programming. So I feel like that is probably one of the best strengths that I have in my library experience. But so yeah, I think a bit of everything.
Can you also address what library systems and programs you're
Okay,
familiar with?
sure. So I was part of the sales network. I've done workflows and Comcat, so I'm familiar with all of that. Yeah, so that workflows, Comcat. That was
You
basically.
done any cataloging?
I've done like, I tried original cataloging once, which with the measuring the book and doing all of that. I would definitely need a refresher course for that. But I've done like when something comes and it's in process, I'm comfortable getting in and logging in as tech and changing it to, you know, new fiction or young adult or on display or whatever it is, and having it like all match to whatever specific branch, however they like to catalog it. So yeah, I've done that sort of processing and putting
Okay.
like the stickers and the labels and creating the spreadsheets and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Alyssa, I'm Irene. I'm a trustee. I have a question for you. You've already answered it, but I'm going to ask it again.
Okay.
Name one of your strengths that you think would make you feel like it's helping you with your job.
Okay, so I can give a different answer because I would probably, my first one would be the programming, but since I already touched base on that, I'd say just like interpersonal skills. Like I feel like a lot of jobs that I've worked a few like city jobs, even when I do like retail or waitressing when I was younger, I'm very much a people person. And I feel like libraries are like, you kind of have to be a people person for sure.
Yes.
But I think that's a big strength of mine, is being able to talk to a lot of different and interact with a lot of different walks of life, whether it be somebody who maybe only wants to read physical books or even take out CDs still, or somebody who is really interested in ebooks and comic books and graphic novels, or a young child who's looking for a certain reading level, or a teacher who's looking for picture books. Like I feel like I'm pretty well versed in all different aspects of that kind of nature.
Good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Alyssa. I'm Beverly, and we met previously.
Hi.
In your opinion, what are the most important qualities in a library technician?
I'd say organization and multitasking and being personable. I'd say those are like the top three.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I met you before too. I'm Christine, one of the library, what am I? A trustee, that's right. And do you, this is your career, am I correct?
Yes.
This is what you believe,
Yes.
that this is your career. Okay, that was it.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I do want to go back to school because I want to, you know, pursue and finish my degree and get my master's in library science. But yeah, I love working in libraries. It's definitely in the past, like I said, 6 or so years, that's what I want to do. Yeah.
All right. Hi, Alyssa. If you could make one improvement to your character to make you better at your job, what would it be?
Being less nervous at interviews. But during my job, let's see, what would I'd say one thing that I feel like I've been improving on, but could always be improved upon, is kind of like emotionally leaving work at work. That was something that when I first got hired on, because it was a low income neighborhood and that kind of demographic. And there were times where I'd go home and I'd still be thinking about, oh, you know, that disgruntled patron. And so I've gotten throughout the years more and more used to like, just kind of in the moment, I feel like I'm good at remaining professional and not rising to the same emotional level as them and keeping it neutral. But when I first started, I was a little sensitive. I'd go home and be like, oh man. But something that can always be improved upon is, you know, leaving that. And like same thing with leaving like home at home. I don't think that necessarily is a fault of mine because that I'm pretty good at, but the two, in my opinion, go hand in hand. So yeah.
Hey, now, before I turn it over to you to ask any questions of us, this is a far cry from a New Bedford library.
Yes. Yeah. I know. Yeah, it is. And I've worked a few different, like the Lawler branch in New Bedford was a much different demographic. It was more people in that neighborhood, more like retirement community, more people reading like books and more book clubs and stuff like that. So I got used to that. And then Attleboro, very busy, and it's kind of hard to say because it's really been like during COVID, but that was something, probably the one thing I wished if I could improve upon my old position was that it maybe was a little more quiet and calm. So I did notice that the demographic of Freetown is much different. So yeah.
And the fact that we have, it's a one-room place.
Yes.
And you're called upon, even the director, that got called upon to maintain the inside. Sometimes the director has to vacuum the floors, you know?
Oh, yeah.
That's just how it is in our town. So
Yes.
I'll turn it over to you. Is there anything you want to ask the trustees?
Well, sure. And just to touch on that a little bit, I only worked at the main branch maybe like one day a week. So the branch that I worked at was one room. It was similar to the Freetown, to the James White branch. It was just one large room with a staff of 4. So I'm used to working with a smaller staff. My only question, which was kind of answered during my first interview, was like where the library is heading in the next 5 or so years. I like I said, to be invested where I work, and I'm interested to see about that. But that was kind of touched upon during my first interview, where there was talk about having one central library that's a little larger and expanding more into programming and community outreach. So that was really my main question.
Well, I'll let the director answer that, but before I let her answer that, we're going to be, I mean, hopefully at some point, and there's no guarantee because this is a small town, but we certainly need a central library for the
Mhm.
town. And who knows, maybe at some point, the taxpayers will say, okay, it's time to build a new library. But we've had these libraries, I've been in town for 46 years, and hasn't changed. But Irene has been in town longer than me, and it hasn't changed. So I'll turn it back. I'll turn it over to Nicole to answer that question.
I think
Oh,
Lucille has a comment. Or
I had a question. Occasionally there is, somebody will call in sick and we've only got 3 people. And if you were called to come in and fill in for that person, would that be a problem for you?
No, not at all. Not at all. I have open availability as it stands. Like I said, I do plan to go back to school, but I probably start off going back to school part-time. And I'm gonna kind of wait the pandemic out a little bit more. So that's in the future. Right now, open availability.
Apparently Simmons has an online program for
Yeah.
MLSs.
Yeah, I saw that. I would be comfortable doing some online classes, but I figured when I first go back, because it's been a little bit, so I want to do some in person first.
Okay, thank you.
How would that impact on your job?
Returning to school?
Yeah.
I mean, I would work around the schedule that I'm initially given for work, so I don't think it would really affect it at all. And then once I graduated, I'd be kind of looking for advancement and open positions. So.
Does anybody else have any other questions? All right. Thank you very much, Alyssa, for coming in. And certainly Nicole will be getting back to you either way to let you know.
Did we ask Alyssa, Paul, did we ask Alyssa if she had any questions for us? Yes, okay. Sorry.
You asked a tough question too. All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna say goodbye because I have to drop you out of the meeting if I can figure out how to do it. Bye.
I think I could just leave it on my own too. Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Good night, bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Make a motion that we recess.
Second,
Motion made to recess. All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Aye,
In favor of the motion?
yes.
Chris, are you in favor of the motion?
Yes, I am.
Irene,
Yes.
Lucille,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
and I am in favor of the motion.
Okay, so we'll recess for what, 15 minutes maybe?
Sounds good.
All right. Okay, we've had our 15, 20-minute recess to do our calculations. So what I want to do now is let everybody know we have a standard rating sheet that we rate applicants. This is a sheet that the town uses for generally all jobs. So what we do is we rate the applicant on topics like prior work experience, technical qualification experience, verbal communication, team building and interpersonal skills, initiative, and then we give them overall impression and recommendation item. And we add up the scores. The ratings are from 1 to 5, 5 being the best, 1 being the least. And we add up the scores and divide by 6 because there's 6 things that we rate at. So with that said, I'm going to ask everybody for their ratings, and I'm going to follow the same procedure of the people that came in for interviews. Number 1 was Ann Macomber. Number 2, Melinda Lemon. Number 3, Diane Scott. Number 4, huh? What's my name?
Melina.
Melina. Geez, I keep saying Melina, sorry. Diane Scott is 3 and Alyssa Silva is 4. And we'll follow the same rotations that we asked the question. So since I started off, here's my ratings. I rated Ann Macumber 3.5. Melina, I got it right that time. Lemon 4.34. Diane Scott 4.5. And Alyssa Silva 4.34. So I will ask Lucille to give me her ratings.
Okay. I rated Anna 3.8. Melina 4.3. Diana 4.8. And Alyssa 3 point something. Let me do that again. No, it's an even 3.
Okay.
Oh, what were yours again, Paul?
Mine?
Yep.
Mine were 3.5,
Yep.
4.34, 4.5, and 4.34.
Okay.
Who were the last two? What were the names?
On mine?
Yeah.
Okay. Ann Macumber was 3.5.
Okay.
Melina was 4.34.
Okay.
Diane Scott was 4.5.
Okay.
And Alyssa Silva was 4.34.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you. Yep.
All right. So the next person was Irene.
Okay. For Anna, it was 2.5,
2.5.
2.5.
Okay.
Diane, no, I'm sorry,
Melina,
Melina, wait a minute. I had them in the wrong thing. Melina was 3.5. Diane was 3.3. And Alyssa was 4.5.
Okay. Beverly.
Okay, for Anna, it was 3.2. Melina was 4.6. Diane was 4.8. And Alyssa was 4.8.
Okay. Chris.
oh, here I am. I had Anna, 2.34. Melina, 3.50. Diane, 3.75.
What was that one again?
3.75.
Yeah.
And Alyssa, 4.
Okay. Nicole.
For Anna, 2.5. Melina was 3.84. Diane was 4. And Alyssa was 5.
Okay. Let me take a few minutes here and do some computation so I can get the totals. All right.
Okay.
Better you than me. I'm so bad at math. Do you do the average for that too, or do you take this and then,
That's
Or
the
do you just
average
do-
of each person, and then whoever gets the highest.
is it the total?
The total divided by
Okay.
how many? Well, at least that's what I did. I suppose you could do the total.
Yeah, I don't know if it like,
I don't
if
know
the
if it
totals
makes a difference.
is gonna make,
Total. No, that doesn't seem possible. Yeah, the total was 20.35. Now
like
that's,
average can't be.
yeah, but average, that. Okay, let's see. Okay. Oh, jeez. Hold it and start again.
I have an old school calculator. You want? You should use
This
your,
this
use
one's
your,
always here.
you can use your stylus.
That's true, but these, what I couldn't do was I forget how to clear it,
Oh, yeah.
you know? I don't know.
Okay. So here's what I got for the average of all the scoring per individual. Ann Macumber, 2.97. Melina, 4.01. Diane Scott, 4.2. And Alyssa, 4.27. So we should discuss this because we've got two people that are extremely close.
Are we live now?
Yeah, we've been.
Oh, we're live. We've been live the whole time.
Okay. So how do you want to do this?
Well, I think that everybody should comment on who they think is the best candidate and why.
All right.
So
You want me to go first?
you can go
I
first.
don't- Okay. It appears that what we're looking at is between Diana and Alyssa. Am I
That's correct.
correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I think, this is my opinion, I think that Diana has the edge over Alyssa. Alyssa was really big on things like programming for teens, you know, getting things going that could draw people into the library. But at this point, we're not at that stage really. There's no place for it to happen unless it happened elsewhere. Plus, she does not have as much of the technical skills in the library systems as Diana has. She could do a lot of the job, especially interacting with the patrons. And she was very animated, which was a good thing. But I felt that Diana was the stronger candidate overall because of her abilities with a good deal of library systems, her attitude, and plus she had the added advantage of being closer geographically. Alyssa lives in Pawtucket, and
No, she doesn't live in Pawtucket. She lives in New Bedford.
oh, she relocated.
She relocated back. She said, yes.
Oh,
We're gonna have to relocate for a second.
okay, all right. We're going offline for a second because her battery is dying.
So give us 1 second.
Just 1 second.
Okay.
Oh.
This, she told us in the presentation. Slide over. Oh, sorry, we have to go all the way over here. There's no plugs over.
Oh, my goodness.
Another downfall of the building.
Ugh. Okay, so let me reorient myself here. Okay, so Diana, Diane?
Mhm.
Diane stated that she had worked like all over in the libraries. She's worked with most of the library systems, not OCLC, but it's not that hard to learn if you, I don't know, do you use OCLC at all? Okay, so that's not an issue. She's got a very varied background. She's involved in the community. She's very welcoming, reliable, dependable. I don't know, overall, I just liked her better. But Nicole just informed me that she doesn't, that Diane, and not Diane, Alyssa does not live in Pawtucket anymore, which
No,
I,
she lives in New Bedford. She told us that she moved to Pawtucket and she came back.
okay, I didn't catch
But
that part.
where they live shouldn't be an issue.
Okay,
Okay.
and that might have been when I
You
don't
might have
know,
been
I
on the
got a
phone.
phone call. That's what
Okay.
happened. So I didn't hear her say that. All right, thank you.
All right. Who was next? Beverly.
I think they're both really good candidates. And I lean, and this is my view on it, I lean towards Alyssa a little bit more. And it's almost for one of the reasons that Lucille leans the other way is that Alyssa is looking into doing programs. And yes, we may not have the big facility to do the program, but I want to show the community what the library can do and what we have to offer. And this is a person who has done this in the past and has experience doing it for both children and adults. And granted, we can't do it on a grand scheme, but it's something that could be tailored to maybe a small group. And maybe even if we couldn't do it at the library, maybe it could be at the senior center sponsored by the library. And that was one of the reasons I kind of leaned towards Alyssa a little bit more. Experience-wise, I mean, I think they're both really good candidates, but that was my tipping point there. I rest my case.
That's fair.
Irina's next.
Okay, I lean towards Alyssa. My problem with Diane is I think she's got so much experience and she's so putting it all out there. I think that she would try and take over. I just have that feeling. I think she would be maybe difficult for Nicole to work with. Where Alyssa has Alyssa's learning, she's in the learning process, but she's very qualified. She speaks well. She has a good idea as to where she's headed. And she is my person I think is best.
Chris.
Okay. Let me just speak from my heart here, because as I sat in on all of the interviews, and I would get really excited about someone, and then I would get more excited about someone else, and that's the way it was. And it's funny because Alyssa was the last one And I wanted to jump out of my chair and hug her. She was so real. She was so excited about the interview. And it was like, it's almost like she didn't care if she had the right or the wrong answer. She was just being herself. And through everything that I've gone through in the past few months, I understand how many things I don't know, simple things. And it's like she was a breath of fresh air, like, oh, there's somebody that's gonna teach me these skills on the phone or show me how to do this. And all of a sudden I got all of these ideas in my head. And I was so excited for me because of her. And if that's what she did to me, I can imagine what she would do to someone else. But believe me, Diane, she is so qualified. She's qualified up and down and back and forth. But I don't know if she's what Freetown needs. The end.
Is that it?
That's it.
Oh, okay. All right, I thought you said the end.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought so
I said
too.
the end.
Oh, the
Oh.
and then I thought, then you sat there and I thought, oh, maybe we lost her.
Rose.
I did too.
All right, Nicole, it's all yours. You're next.
I mean, I gave Alyssa a 5, so I think it's obvious how I feel. I think her experience in the programming is just so valuable. Having, tried things and seen what works and what doesn't work for all ages is just something that knowledge is just so valuable, I think. She already works in sales, so she's familiar with all our upper management in sales. She's familiar with the other libraries. She knows how things work here. Diane has the experience, but she has not worked in the state yet at a library here. So as experienced she is, there's still going to be a little bit of a learning curve, I think. Whereas Alyssa can kind of just drop right in and start going. So I definitely think her energy is a good match to where the library is hopefully going.
Okay. Now it's my turn, huh?
That's it.
So I guess when I sat down and at the beginning of the process and when we had the preliminary interviews, I only was able to attend one session. We had 2 sessions of the preliminary interviews, so I didn't see everybody up front like some of the trustees were able to do. Christine,
Speak up, Paul.
you can't hear me? Is this any better?
Yeah, it's better. Yeah.
All right. So anyway, I always look for people with good experience and people that I think will be around for a while, consistency. Because every time we have to fill a position, if somebody leaves, it just causes all kinds of turmoil. So I look for long-term employees. And, I also look at people that are in town. But like Anna Macumber, she grew up in town, but she just didn't have the experience that the other candidates had. So certainly I had a discount for as we got to the end here. My 2 top ones were Diane. Well, actually, Diane was my top one. Alyssa and Melina tied out on my scoring. And after listening to everybody's comments here, I think Diane Scott would be a very good candidate for us. She would be a long-term employee, has 13 years of experience. But after listening to you all, Alyssa certainly was very energetic and so forth. And I think she would do a great job also. The only problem I have with that is she may not be a long-time employee. That's the thing. And that's my opinion. When I hire people, I want because when you hire somebody, I'm talking about in my past life, okay? When you hire somebody, you want them to have the experience, you want them to be a good person, and you want them to hang around a long time. And the only concern I have with Alyssa is that, you know, she's going to go back to school. I specifically asked her, well, how is that going to impact on the job? And her answer was that she may, you know, want to go back face to face at school. That's the only thing that keyed out on my head. In my opinion, I think the two candidates, Diane and Alyssa, they'll do fine. I just hope that if Alyssa is the selection, that she stays around here, so we don't have to replace her again. That's my opinion. So somebody make a motion. We can pick somebody.
Just for-
And let's have further discussion.
I just have a comment about, sorry, there's a lot of feedback. Howland Green is probably one of the toughest branches to work at, and it has the highest turnover out of all the libraries in the sales network. So the fact that she stayed there for 5 years is impressive. And even if she did go back to school, if you go back full time, it takes you 2 years to get your master's. And if she's going back half time, then it would probably take her 4 years. So I think she would at least stay, you know, several years. And I think that that's the most you can ask for any lower end position like that.
That caught me too, Nicole, because that was like one of the last things that she said. And I stepped back for a minute and I thought, I think with what she did at the library before and stayed there so long, when she gets here and finds out how different it is here and the things that she's going to be able to do, that she might have a change of heart. But you know, if you're looking 4 or 5 years or 6 years of her staying here, I think that's a goodly time. So.
Does she know what the starting pay is?
Yeah, so it's posted.
Okay, so she does know. Then certainly, if I mean, I don't have any problem with her. If somebody wants to make a motion to select her, I certainly would go along with it. I would vote for her. But that's my thought process. That's my thought process.
Can I make another comment before we vote? I just wanted to say that if she is going back for her master's and not going full time, when I did that, it took me 4 years to get my master's because of having kids in between and working part-time. But when I got that master's degree, I was no longer happy being in a,
Well, it makes sense.
it wasn't a professional position,
Yeah.
what they call paraprofessional. And so I wanted to get myself advanced, and then I left that job. So we can probably expect to have her for 4 years.
Okay.
I think that Diane would stay longer, but I don't know. I don't know for sure.
What's the rate of pay?
1567, but it's most likely going to go up because they're in negotiations.
Yeah, but it's not going to go up much.
No, but
It might go up 2%. Okay, it's going to go up 2%. So let's call it $16 an hour. Certainly, if you're going to school, $16 an hour. She's going to get 24 hours. It's going to go to 30 hours. She'll be all right for a while, but she's certainly not going to. And this, I'm just talking out loud because this isn't something that I would vote against her for. But once she gets her master's degree, she's not going to hang around. She's going to be looking for another job without any doubt. Whatever you guys want to do, somebody make a motion up.
Economically, can we look over the past, since we've been on the board of, since I've been on the board of trustees, how many people have been in that library technician position in the past 4 years? We've had several different people in just
it's
4 years.
definitely a stepping stone position. And, you know, it's a 30-hour position. Nobody's going to ever stay realistically forever. Like, it's just not at the pay rate and the hours. It's like, I think 4 years is a good amount of time for somebody to stay there. I mean, Brittany was in it for 2.5 years.
We had Chelsea, we've had different people. We had Casey, we've had different people in the short time I've been on the trustees. That's like a rotating position.
Yeah, well, the
The
thing is,
nature of the job.
one of the reasons I leaned towards Diane was the fact that I think she would stay in it because I don't think she wants to, she even said it to us.
Mhm.
She even said it to us that she doesn't want this, she's looking for a job and I don't think she's gonna be running off to get anything else.
Right.
But who knows? It doesn't, who knows? So whatever you guys want to do, make a motion, we'll go with it. But that's, I had to voice my opinion. I mean, I think Alyssa is going to do a great job. The problem is, I don't think Alyssa will stay around.
May I say something?
Sure.
My problem with Diane is, I mean, she's very self-assured, but why would a person with that kind of a background want something that's part-time? Plus, she mentioned a fiance. So that makes me think, they just moved from New Jersey. How long are they going to be in this area before they move someplace else? There was just
No,
something about her that rubbed me the wrong way.
You weren't in on that interview. That she actually explained to us why she came up here, and her fiance does live up here. But that has nothing to do.
I know that
with the
is,
selection.
but I mean, there's just something about that, her manner or something that I couldn't work with her. I would not be able to work with her.
So somebody make a motion so we can move forward.
I make a motion that we recommend Alyssa.
Recommend who?
Alyssa.
Alyssa.
Alyssa. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded to select Alyssa for the position of library trustee, library technician. And we'll send
Everyone's messing it up today.
It's time to
okay,
go home.
library technician. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? No.
All right, I'm gonna do the roll
Secretary,
call,
please take the roll.
and this includes
Everyone
Nicole
needs
this
to
time.
Everyone's-
So Chris, are you in favor?
Yes.
Irene,
Yes.
Lucille,
Yes.
Nicole,
yes.
Paul,
Yes.
and I am in favor.
Okay, so it's a unanimous vote. All
Yep.
right. So Alyssa is the person. Nicole, you're gonna have to call her to make sure she wants to take the job. So
Yep.
you want to do that right now before, and it's contingent on her
Selectmen.
background check and so forth. Okay, but just so we don't disband this if she doesn't want it.
Yeah, do you want to just give me a second?
Yeah, and make sure she knows the rate of pay and so forth, okay?
Yep.
All right, we'll stand by.
Make sure she knows that I'm the first in line for those classes.
She may not take the job because you're in first in line. Okay, since Nicole's doing that, can I get the board to authorize me to compose a letter and send it to the personnel board for the appointment of the candidate?
I make a motion, Paul, that you, what's the word? What's a good word for that?
I'm authorized to compose a letter.
You're authorized. No,
Okay.
don't say composed. You're authorized to write a letter saying that we're all in agreement and
that we took-
hiring Alyssa for that appointment.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Motion made and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes,
Aye,
All right,
yes, yes. aye.
unanimous. Okay, go ahead, Beverly. Do your thing.
Irene, yes. Lucille,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes,
I'm in agreement. And Paul,
Yes.
I'm in agreement. How about Irene? Is she in agreement?
yep,
I'm in
Okay.
agreement.
All right, that's good. All right. So we'll hang on for a few minutes and we'll see if there's any other business properly come before the board. And we'll hold on until Nicole tells us if this lady will accept the job, if she's offered the job.
Went to her voicemail, so
Mm.
Okay, well, it went
I
to her
also.
voice.
You may have turned your phone off for the interview.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's put it this way. Nicole, she should.
If
did
she
you ask her
says
to-
no, offer it to Diane. Is that the
If she
consensus?
says, if she says no,
Or do we deliberate
think-
again?
I think yes, because then I would have to go with Melina.
Okay, so if I can
Well, look,
email
we're not
everybody.
gonna do interviews again. We're not gonna
No,
do interviews again. So, listen, we're gonna have to reconvene. I have to post another meeting if she says no. So I don't know what you want to do. We'll post another meeting, but we're not gonna do interviews again.
No, no. We'll just post another meeting.
Okay. All right.
And then just once the selectmen agree, I have to bring her to the town hall and have her, oh, hold on, she's coming back.
Oh.
And she's got to order her a name badge.
I don't want to go through the process of sending a letter to the personnel board, then finding out that the lady doesn't want the job.
Oh, yes, absolutely. No, I agree with that.
When do we anticipate a start date would be?
Well,
I think we talked about that before, didn't we say?
We were thinking like March 1st, but I don't know if that's,
it
I
all
don't-
depends on the personnel board.
Right, yep.
They have to, first of all, they're gonna have to, we gotta do a query check, all that other stuff on, no matter who we hire, so. If that all pans out and they buy in, and the personnel board appoints her, then she can start as soon as the director wants her to start, I guess.
Yeah, so she said yes, so I'm gonna call her next Wednesday after the selectmen's meeting, because it's at night on Tuesday, right? Next Tuesday?
Yeah, next Tuesday night. But
So I'm gonna-
before we gotta find, I mean, they may not even approve it, but I think they.
No, I know, and so
probably-
I told her not to, because she has to give 2 weeks notice at her current
Yeah.
job, so I told her to wait till I call her, so.
Okay, so before we close out here, all the paperwork, you should hold on to your paperwork, and the next time you see Nicole, hand it to her, because we keep it as a record, and it'll go down to the personnel office, Tim.
You mean the score sheets that we did?
Score
Yes.
sheets, yeah.
Okay.
All right, that way, in case anybody questions anything, we get the documentation. All right, so is there anything else that needs to be brought before the board?
not at this time.
No? All right, so our next meeting is a week from Thursday, right, Beverly?
Yes,
Oh, okay. I keep getting screwed up on that. I keep thinking it's this Thursday. All right,
we have a motion to adjourn.
Second?
unless Nicole has something, no, you just want to get out of here, don't you? Okay.
Time to go home.
It's past 4. There's a motion made and seconded to adjourn. Any, all in favor?
Bye.
All right.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Beverly, do your thing.
Irene, you're in agreement?
Yes, I am.
Lucille, you're in agreement?
Yes.
Paul, you're in agreement?
Yes.
Chris, you're in agreement?
Yes.
I'm in agreement, and Nicole's ready to go.
Okay, so thank you very much. Productive meeting, productive day. Hold on to your stuff. I gotta give my stuff to Nicole when I see her. What's tomorrow, Tuesday?
I'll see you. It's payroll week.
That's payroll week. I gotta go in there. And that's it. Okay, I'm gonna shut off the recording. We're gonna close the meeting. Everybody be safe. Christine,
Yes.
when you go Thursday, they only have to do it once.
Yes. Yes.
And then you gotta go again to get the
Then I
next.
gotta go again. Yep.
Don't let them get one in both arms.
No,
Okay.
no. for sure.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.
You.